So most people think that just doing Instagram Reels is the thing that's going to get you clients and leads, but that's just not enough anymore. And so that's why in this video I'm going to go over the exact strategy that I use myself to go from booking one call every 3 weeks to booking 2+ calls per day. So let's get straight into it. So chances are your way of getting online clients is pretty simple. You're probably just doing short form content through like TikTok and Instagram Reels. And then from generating that attention from your short form content, you expect people to look at your bio and go to the CTA that's in your bio. That might be an application form, or it might be a CTA for someone to DM you. And you think that that's going to get you clients. And this is your content system. You don't have a way to properly nurture your audience because you're just relying on content and short form content to get clients. But if I'm being honest, this can work, but only if you have a solid organic strategy, only if you have a large following, and only if you're getting hundreds of thousands of views consistently. And so that's exactly why Brandon Johnson here, this online coach, can do that, simply because he's got 186,000 followers. He's getting consistent hundreds of thousands of views every single video, and so people naturally will check out his page because he's getting that much attention to the point where there is going to be people checking out his page. But obviously, if you're watching this video, you're more than likely someone who hasn't got this many followers, doesn't get many views, and so we need a way to kind of nurture the people that you are generating. So you are going to be generating some attention, but not attention on the level of this guy where he can do this. And obviously, like I've just said, and chances are if you're watching this video, you don't have any of those things. You don't have a solid organic strategy, you don't have a large following, and you're not really getting thousands of views every video, you know what I mean? And so that's why you have to kind of watch this entire video, because if not, you're more than likely going to be leaving so much money on the table. So the first thing that we kind of need to understand, and this is the full system, is the content to client funnel. So obviously your top of funnel is your short form content, and then your middle of funnel is your outreach, and then the bottom of funnel is your YouTube. So the goal of short form content, your Instagram Reels, maybe TikTok if you're doing TikTok as well, is to generate and attract as many ideal clients as possible while still providing value. So you need the right type of eyeballs actually coming to you. So these people here, these need to be like your ideal clients. These need to be the people that if they reached out to you and said, I want your coaching, you'd say yeah to. You know what I mean? And so the way you're going to do this is by making sure your content solves a specific problem that your clients actually have. Your content needs to speak about your ideal clients. It needs to solve their problems, speak about their goals, and speak about their specific features within your content. And this is the thing that will naturally get them to watch more of your content, because they actually resonate with you and what you're actually saying. So the key is that your reels need to actually be valuable and worth watching. So the whole purpose of short form content is to generate attention so that you can actually reach out to that attention, and then also obviously funnel that attention you're generating into your YouTube, where you're going to build even more trust, and it's going to be so much easier to get more clients, which I'll get onto in a little bit. So because your YouTube is what will naturally sell people and nurture people, your Instagram simply generates you the attention to actually be able to do that. So your YouTube videos are an extension of your short form reels, but you might be thinking, if you still don't generate much attention, which like I said, if you're watching this video, you're probably not, we can use outreach to actually boost the YouTube and the videos you're posting and generate more views and obviously build more trust with the prospects. And that's why YouTube is so crucial. So basically, we just use YouTube as free lead magnets, so free value in our outreach to send over. Let's say we've got a prospect in our DMs, they've got a specific problem, but then you've made a YouTube video about that specific problem. You can send them over, and it's going to be so easy to get them on a call. Again, I said that earlier on, we'll get into that a little bit later on in more depth. And the reason we do that is because the online space is like way too saturated. People can smell that you're trying to pitch them from a mile away. And so with this system, you're providing value, you're acting like you actually want to help them out. And when people feel special, when people actually feel like they want to be helped, and when people actually feel like they are being helped, they're going to give you time of day, and they're going to be more than happy to actually jump on a call. And so that's exactly why we give as much value as possible, and that's why YouTube videos work super powerfully within the outreach. So basically, this first part, the short form content, you're just generating the attention to be able to outreach to those people, and when you're doing your outreach, you're going to be using the YouTube videos within your outreach. Obviously, again, we'll get onto that a little bit later on. So obviously, outreach. So within outreach, the goal is to turn the right strangers into real conversations. You're not trying to message every single person that you see or comes through your page. you're starting chats with the exact type of person who already has the problems that you solve. The whole purpose of outreach is to direct the attention your reels generate. Attention alone doesn't create clients, conversations do. You can't expect to get clients just from content unless you've got a massive following. So outreach lets you actually take control instead of waiting and hoping that people message you first. It turns views and followers into actual real conversations, because again, without conversation, without doing outreach, you've got no way to convert the attention that you are generating into leads, into book calls, and then into clients. But when people like hear outreach, and if you hear outreach, you might think it means like just pitching to strangers, sending hundreds of the same DM, and obviously it being boring. But that's really not what it is. You're simply starting conversations. You're acting like you're messaging a friend. Like, you just act like you're messaging someone, and actually message someone on a human level. Like, a lot of these coaches that I speak to, a lot of them just follow a script word for word. So for them, the outreach becomes boring because they're following a script, and they don't even book any calls with it. So why do that when you can have better, more fun conversations with people and actually book more calls because it's actually human? Obviously, you need to be sticking to like certain frameworks and certain questions you want to be asking, but you want to keep it human, and that's the main thing I always tell all my clients with outreach. So the goal isn't to sell in the first message, obviously. Like I said, you want it to be human, you want to actually ask the right questions. It's to actually understand their situation so you can guide them somewhere helpful. And that somewhere helpful is your YouTube and your YouTube videos. So instead of trying to explain everything in the DMs, you send them a video that answers their exact problem. As I was saying earlier, if you're messaging a prospect and you find out they've got a specific problem and you've got a video that solves that specific problem, send them that video over, and it's going to be so much easier to get them on a call. Because now they're not just reading your messages, they're literally watching you, learning from you, and seeing exactly how you think. So obviously reels grab attention, like we went over earlier. Cold outreach starts the conversation, and YouTube builds trust and makes the call easy. So when you finally speak on a call, it doesn't feel like you're trying to convince people or anything like that. It feels like the actual natural next step, because you've given that much value to the point where people feel like they need to give you something back. So when it comes to the point of where you're asking for a call, people are going to say yeah, because they kind of want to give back to you, because you've already helped them out with a little bit of value. So that is exactly why every single big creator has a YouTube channel. For example, we've got Iman Gatza here. He makes 3 to 5 million a month, and he has so many different Instagram profiles that are generating him so much attention. Like, his attention is on another level, and all of those profiles and reels that he's posting, they're all generating attention to his YouTube, where in his YouTube he's posting longer form videos, building that much extra trust. And this is exactly why he was able to scale his business so fast. Obviously, he's been in the game a long time, he's got so much experience, but every single big creator is using this funnel. Obviously, they're doing the short form content, and they're using YouTube. And obviously he's probably not doing outreach himself. He'll have like setters and stuff like that. But obviously, where you're at now, you need to be doing something that can convert the attention. That's going to come through outreach. So the goal of YouTube is to break your ideal client's limiting beliefs. A lot of your clients will think that they have to do this, that in order to get somewhere, you know what I mean? And they also need to install new beliefs that will allow them to actually buy. So for example, I want you to do this. This will help you out massively. Write down every single limiting belief that your ideal clients will have. If you're a fitness coach, for example, your ideal clients might think they need enough time. They need to eat chicken and rice every single day, and they need to spend 3 hours in the gym, etc., etc. Then I want you to write down every single belief your ideal client must have in order to actually buy your product or your service. You need to make them believe they only need 1 hour per day in the gym. They don't need to eat plain food. They can still eat their favourite foods, etc., etc. So you need to shatter these old existing beliefs and create new beliefs. And so if you do this, and if you outreach to somebody, you create a conversation and found out what their struggles and problems are, you send them over a YouTube video that you made that breaks down the exact problems that they spoke about. And that means they're going to become an engaged lead. I do want to say this though. Do not tell them how to solve their specific problem. Don't tell them what to do, because if you share the exact step-by-step process of how to solve that problem, they will never ever pay you or won't need your help, because you've literally told them how to solve it. And so if you do this for your YouTube, if you actually post videos that break your ideal clients' limiting beliefs and that type of thing, you're going to get so many engaged leads, and you're going to get engaged leads. And engaged leads are so easy to get on calls and to close because they already trust you, they already understand your value, they understand what you can do for them, simply because they've seen your short form content, they've seen your YouTube videos, and you've been messaging them personally within the DMs. And so that's the entire content to client funnel together. So obviously your short form content is generating your attention for you to start conversations with, because you probably don't have a large following yet. You don't get hundreds of thousands of views to actually naturally get clients with an application form or a call to action in your bio. So what you need is you need a way to convert the attention that you generate, so we start conversations. Obviously this can be warm and cold outreach as well. So obviously you want to be reaching out to the people that are liking with your post and engaging with your post, but you also can use this for cold outreach as well if you really aren't getting much attention. And obviously you can use these conversations to direct people over to the YouTube to build more trust. So by the time they've actually watched your YouTube, watched a few videos, they come back to the conversation that you're having with them with enough trust, so it's super easy to get them on a call and to actually close them as a client. Because this system that I built over the past 2 years of doing outreach myself and learning what works, what doesn't with outreach, this is the best method I've found to book more calls, because you're building trust, you're actually helping people out genuinely, and when people, like I said earlier, when people actually feel like you're helping them out, and that makes them special, that makes them feel special. And when people feel special, they're going to help you back, they're going to give you something back in return. And that's exactly what the law of reciprocity is. That means when you give that much value, when you give something, that someone's going to give you something in return. So you give so much of something that someone's naturally going to give you something back. And that is the law of reciprocity in action, because you're giving that much value to the point where the prospect, the person you're messaging, feels like they have to give you something back. So by the time you're asking them to jump on a call, that's them giving back. So they're going to be more than happy to jump on a call because they've already understood how you can help, they've watched a few videos, and they know your expertise, so they're going to view you as someone who can genuinely help them out with their problems. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was quite a short one, but very, very valuable, and obviously this will help you out so much. If you've got any questions or anything like that, you can head over to my Instagram, the link is in the description. Or if you do want to work with me one-on-one, help you implement this without you having to do all the work yourself, also go over to my Instagram, or you can go to the link in the description again, and I've got a website there. Obviously you can book a call through that, can have a good chat, see if it's a good fit, and we're going to get you some solid results implementing this and implementing other things that help you take your business to the next level. So thanks so much for watching. Hope this video was valuable, as I said, and I'll see you in the next one.